Good day, class. My name is Engineer Igarewa Joshua. I'm a trainer and instructor with the Industrial Training Fund. Today we are going to be considering the module 1 of the occupational health and electrical workplace safety. So occupational health safety and electrical workplace safety. At the end of this module, we should be able to describe what occupational health and workplace safety is all about. We should be able to describe hazards of electricity. We should be able to identify various types of hazards, as well as describing the effect of electricity as it is to the human body. Lesson 1, we're going to be looking at concepts of hazards. If I may ask, what do we understand as hazard? Hazard literally means a source of danger. Where there is no hazard, there is no accident. Therefore, system safety holds that hazard is the precondition on which an accident happens. So, what then is a hazard? What is hazard? According to Willie Hermans, we define hazards as a potential unsafe factors that likely leads to what? Casualty or property loss. That is to say, like I said before, where there is no hazards, there are likely not to be what? Accidents. And when it talks about occupational health and electrical safety in the workplace, as a trainer, as a trainee, you must consider this as a very important aspect of your doing work in the workplace environment. That is why we say we consider this an hazard. Where no hazard, literally, no hazard, no. That is why there is a saying that says, where if you want to do away with accidents, you must consider hazards, and first you eliminate hazards. Let's look at, hope we're understanding what I said. No hazards, no accidents. Simple as that. So what we kill, what we consider first is what? Hazards. Eliminate hazard, there is no hazard. Safety. If you want to work safely, you must consider hazard. Then we'll look at the relationship. Relationship between hazard we looked at the relationship between hazard as it is risk and what? Accident. Hazard, we said, there are conditions that leads to what? Accident. But if you ignore hazard, you are taking a risk. If you ignore hazard, you are taking a risk. And the resultant effect is what? An accident. So if you want to eliminate, you want to work freely and survive, you must consider this. It's very, very important. This is what we refer as the relationship. And of course, hazards is anything, like I said, or situation, conditions, which lead to what? Accident. If you check this is, if I had to link this hazard as a connection, then before these three conditions can be considered, for you to arrive safe without an accident, there is a link between hazard, risk, and what? Accident. And that, once there is an hazard, which you can see or you feel, is this a condition or substance? There is a room for what? Exposure. Here, exposure. Then, if there is no exposure, like you can see in the environment, you see the electrical cables literally all around the floor, the grounds, and all that. If there are obstructions, if I'm exposed to it, it leads to what? Accident. So, if you look around, there is always what? A thing, a situation, or a condition that could what? Harm us in every environment. Like you can take a look at the classroom, there are potential hazards that can lead to what? An accident. So, for instance, a nail inside a toolbox is a hazard because it has the potential to cause what? Injury. An overspeeding car on the road is a hazard. The word there, overspeeding. Because, like normal speed, is okay, but when it is over speeding, it can lead to what? An accident. So the road is a hazard because it has the potential to what? Cause accidents. A moving vehicle, if you move according to the speed, with care being taken, of course you arrive at your destination safe. But when you are overspeeding, so in every environment, even in our homes, there are a lot of potential hazards. But if such materials or conditions are not handled properly, that is what leads to what? Accident. And of course, hazards, if taken care of, like I said, a nail in the toolbox. If you drive, maybe you want to get access to other tools in the toolbox, and there is a nail. If care is not taken, or like razor blades in a lady's handbag, you put a razor in your handbag and you want to get access to your phone. Of course, you know, you ladies, you have your phone is ringing, you rush to your bag. Before you can get access to it, if there is a razor, it can cut your hand. That razor there inside the bag is what? A hazard. So also, in anything that can harm you as a human. So by so doing, getting access to whatever materials or a tool or a nail in the toolbox, like we said, you are exposing yourself. That is why the exposure there is there. You are exposing yourself to what? Being harmed. And of course, when you rush without taking consideration of the potential hazard in that particular environment, that is the risk aspect we are talking about. So this is kind of a relationship. That is why we say, at this point, you will agree with me that the silent actor within the chain here is what? Is exposure. That is the silent chain. Within this chain here, it is what? Exposure. You must be exposed. Sometimes accident happens before you observe the hazard around the environment. So without exposure, there is no what? No risk. Without exposure, there is no risk. And without exposure, there can never be what? An accident. Do we understand the relationship? The analysis. Hazard leads to what? Accidents. And when you act on it, that is the risk you are taking. You didn't take into consideration. So when you expose yourself, it leads to what? Accidents. This gives us more window in accident prevention. Hence, we can what? Prevent accident by either eliminating the hazard, like I said, if possible, because there are conditions that the hazards cannot be eliminated. But if considered, like you want to a cable on the floor, if you know you must put yourself in a position that when you're walking around such environments, you must put into consideration the hazard. exposing yourself to the hazard without coordinating it, it will lead to what? Accident. Here, what are we talking about? What are we trying to consider in our workplace, in our homes? What we looked at is working safely without harming ourselves. So, we've looked at basically hazard, risk, and what? Accidents. And to avoid accidents, hazard, like I keep on hammering on it, is what we have to consider first when talking about what? The lesson, occupational health and electrical workplace. Of course, in the course of this module, we're going to be looking at the electrical safety. But first, we are considering hazard, and of course, we know what hazard is. And of course, with time to time, we're going to be listing types of hazards according to the environment, according to the type of work you will do. It will be part of our quiz when the time comes. But for now, this is the end of the lesson 1. And subsequently, in the next class, we should be looking at types of hazards. Thank you.